We have Hell's Paradise episode 6, Heart and Reason. So in this episode, Genji recognizes Sagiri as a great swordsman as Gabimaru struggles with a new fight. And in the end, we have a surprising fighter come in and really just save the day. But going back to last episode and the beginning of this one, the giant of Bizen, Rokaruta, takes a chunk out of Genji's side. And I mean, it's pretty apparent to everybody except for Ragiri that he's dead. So I think he gets in his feels here a little bit, and he starts respecting Ragiri a little bit. He starts
Sagiri.
Ragiri.
Sagiri.
Oh, Sagiri. I'm getting better at this name thing for sure.
I like how you're just simply changing letters at this point. You're not even mispronouncing them. You're like, this is my anime now. I wrote the manga.
Look, my spelling is historically terrible.
I was like, who's he talking about? I was just sitting there looking at Dan
not even knowing who I'm talking about. That's fucked.
I was gonna give you one. Bro,
yes,
I was sitting here looking at the character list. I was like, which one's he talking about, bro?
Fuck. Okay, so Sagiri, our number 2 of this show. And he kind of realizes like she is a woman. She can be tender, like I guess a stereotypical woman, but she's a great swordsman as well. And he kind of just starts laying out his feelings and saying, "Hey, I actually do have some respect for you." And Sagiri kind of settles in. She goes into the fight, and really, Gabimaru is getting kind of waxed, bro. We see some new moves out of him, but he has no idea what to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think this scene, going back to the scene with Genji and Sagiri, we see they're talking, and he's like, there's two sides to you. You need to use them both. You need to find the middle ground, the compromise between, your emotions and your fighting capabilities. And once she settles into that, she starts getting pretty damn good out there in the battlefield. But yeah, we see a lot of really awesome moves from Gabimaru. I mean, he starts bringing out the ninjutsu left and right, and none of it's working. I mean, he's doing this new one called like Stone Storm, where he just basically stomps a bunch of boulders in the air and kicks them at the guy. And
yeah, no range attack. He was too scared to get in close because the giant of Bizen is like 15 fucking feet tall, and he's like a raging baby.
It's basically Big Mom, dude.
Big Mom vibes for sure. Yeah. Bro ate his parents, man.
They're probably dead, bro. They probably didn't feed him fast enough.
Oh, you didn't see?
Killed him.
You didn't see that?
Oh, in the flashback,
he for sure ate his parents. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Yeah, no.
Something I missed.
Big Mom timing for real.
I caught that shit though.
Yeah. And I want to go back to like Sagiri finding that middle ground that Dan was talking about. We get a lot of imagery with like a raging ocean. And whenever Sagiri gets a little too calm, we kind of see that ocean turn really flat, but she's not really effective in battle. But when it's raging too high, she gets afraid and freezes up. So we have that ocean throughout the whole episode. And I thought that was really good imagery. And I think it's going to continue to go back to that, as she tries to regulate her emotions and her abilities.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the imagery they had for it. And it helped convey what she was feeling in her mind too, which I thought was really important, because like it can kind of be hard to understand some like what goes through somebody's head during a battlefield, but having it conveyed like that really made it clear where she needed to be. And when she started throwing down, you're like, you could see it. And it was really cool.
For sure. It was still like raging waves, but they were controlled. That controlled rage.
But going back to Gabimaru, and he wanted to go all in, dude. He started basically using all his ninjutsu with his ascetic blaze ninbo ability on top of it. And shit, man, he was shooting fire like everything, and still couldn't like make a dent.
Burn the man. Yeah, couldn't do anything with him.
And Rokaruta, and I mean, that's like you can't take down a giant, dude. When you're 3.5 feet tall, like Gabimaru is,
he is a little boy. So, did you guys understand the difference between like the ninjutsu and the ninpo?
I mean, to my what I think like ninpo is like more of like magic in a sense, and ninjutsu is like skill, like you have to work for it, kind of something like that. That's in my mind. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
really interesting because they take two words that are used a lot in martial arts and like in the study of ninjutsu, like being a shinobi,
Right.
and in real life. So ninjutsu is a skill, it's a technique, like shadow clone jutsu we see in Naruto, but
yeah,
Mhm.
ninpo is your ninja way. Essentially, it's like the philosophy
yeah.
behind ninjutsu. It's like, basically nin is like calm or something like that in Japanese, and po is the technique term, but it's basically like your overall philosophy behind ninjutsu is what ninpo is, IRL.
Oh, so I thought so I did a little digging on it because I was trying to figure that question out, and it's the reason I asked. I thought ninjutsu was the actual fighting style, and then ninpo is like unconventional ninja attacks. I think that's how it is. But yeah, your guys' guess is as good as mine.
So I went to some martial arts page that had a whole fucking description of it. I was like, all right, that's the right answer. But they're kind of taking it their own way here. I mean, every show does.
For
I mean,
sure.
you watch One Piece, they say ninpo whenever they do a technique instead of ninjutsu. So it's like, okay,
True.
what
True.
what
True.
what really is it?
Yeah, I think yeah. In regards to Hell's Paradise though, it seemed like Gabimaru could only use fire ninjutsu, but he could kind of do whatever with his ninpo. Like he used his it's like a sash, and it was like ninpo unformed blade, and he turned it into like pretty much a metal like
A
whip.
sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whip sword thing.
But then when he did it with his ascetic blaze technique, I thought it was more like the ninjutsu was the technique, like the blade was unformed blade was the ninjutsu and ascetic blaze was the ninpo. That's kind of how I looked at it, but I'd have to go back and listen to what they call everything because I was just more really appreciating the pretty fire.
No, the animation in this has been fucking phenomenal. Absolute gas, in my opinion.
And I'm just glad to see, like, we're finally seeing Gabby Maru. We're finally seeing that he's not OP because um what's his name, Rokuroda, like he was handing his ass to him, like he was tearing his ass up. If it wasn't for Sagiri, he would have probably tore his ass up,
Yeah.
because he couldn't
Um,
handle him.
yeah, I think like what I thought was the finishing move from Rakaruta was he's like straight up just smashed Gabby's face, his whole head into the earth, and then like made a huge crater. And I thought he was gonna be out for the rest of the fight, but he got up. But before he did, Sagiri with an
There you
S
go.
um came into the fight and was like fighting him off while he was getting up. And once she got control of her emotions, and I'm not sure if it was Genji or Senta was saying, she's not a skilled person in battle yet, but her sword work is second to none. She's 12th rank in the clan, and I didn't think she was ranked that high because of how people were talking to her. I thought she was like one of the lowest people, but they were saying she's only ranked 12th is because she's a woman.
Yeah. Well, I
Did
mean,
that surprise y'all? That like she was ranked so high out of that many people?
that's the thing though, is they only had 12 members of the Yamada clan. There were only 12 of the Senmon. That's why they had to whittle down the numbers at the beginning.
Well, there was only
But
12 people that they sent to the island. That's not the whole clan.
no, that's not. I'm not saying it's the whole clan, but
I
that's like the
think
members of the executioners. So
I
she's
think
she's the last executioner
yeah.
of those 12. And they didn't send the leader, but that was the only ones who were there that were considered at that rank, I thought. So basically, if you were that rank, you were sent, from what I understood.
And that's
So
how I
they
took it
they
too.
sent their top 12 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were that high of rank. I thought they just sent kind of fucking whoever. I personally, if I was the clan head, I would have sent fodder. Because you're not taking my 12 highest members. I need them. We've all already seen a couple of them die, and that's not good for my clan. So that's how I would be thinking, and so that's what I thought that this was. I thought they were just sending God knows who. But I think you're right, Dan. I really do. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't realize she would be that high ranked. I definitely did not know her sword skills were like top tier, and that she was actually a top tier executioner. But Gabimaru did say a couple of times in this show so far that like he sensed some real skill in her.
Hey,
He noticed that dog in her, dude.
She got that dog
hey,
for sure.
I've been telling y'all, all it is confidence issues. She just has confidence issues, and that's it. If she can finally get confident in herself, man, she gonna be top dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We're gonna see it.
we did get to see the big dog eat this episode, and her
Yeah,
swordplay was fantastic. I mean, when Gabimaru was like essentially not knocked out, but when he's like out of the fight a little bit, she's like actually defending against Rakurota's like attacks. And this guy is, I mean, he's a giant. He's a menace. And
Yeah,
she's
I mean,
slashing his fists away and everything. It was really cool to see. It was really well animated too, I thought.
yeah, it was really good choreography on the animator's part on the studio. Because yeah, Gabimaru was like on the back foot. He was doing a lot of backing up and running away, and Sagiri was able to like hold her ground, like mano y mano, blow for blow. And I just did not see that coming, but it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to it, I think the only reason Gabimaru survived that fight is because he relied on his ninja training. And we saw a couple flashbacks of that too in this episode, where it's the old man, the leader of his clan, saying, learn your opponent's techniques. So what Gabimaru is doing that entire fight is just trying to find an opening, and he can't because he's that broken of an enemy to fight, And I thought it was really cool that they had a little flashback there.
Yeah, it's been cool to see that. Just to understand his thought process when he battles. We usually get like a lot of inner dialogue when there's like big fights like this, but it's cool to just go back to his training.
yeah. And
So go ahead.
they finally, I was just gonna say, they finally figure out Gabby Maru comes up with a way to take Rokuruda down, and to let Sagiri take Rokuruda down, and that is to use this flame, ninjutsu, ninpo, whatever the hell it is, and to create, just set the forest on fire. Basically, is what he did to make him suffocate with carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, so homeboy is like so tall that the smoke is in his face and like you said, suffocating him. And Sagiri, she cuts off his finger, which Rokaruda did not like that. Obviously, he cried a little bit like a baby. He is like an infant in his mind, I believe. I don't think he's had much growth since he's been a kid. But yeah, he's up so high, and Sagiri's like, I need him hunched over so I can get to that neck. Um, and that's how they end up doing it. He's suffocating, he's almost dead, and Sagiri kind of gets a little sentimental, and she's like, wait a second, I really got to finish this guy off. So that was great teamwork because they really struggled to get to that point. She tried to cut his arm off, his leg, and she was like, man's got too much muscle, bro. Them tendons is going crazy. Um, but yeah, that was good. Great growth for Sagiri in this episode. I wanted to see that out of her because I thought she was a pathetic character beforehand. I didn't find her that entertaining. I knew she had a lot of potential, but this has just been great growth. It really is starting to bring the main cast together for me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and it's crazy too because you mentioned that like she couldn't cut through his tendons and stuff, and it brings me back to I guess episode 1 where they're trying to execute Gabimaru, and he has all the ninja training that lets him like harden his skin and like all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And Rakuroto is just doing this like zero training without even thinking. So I thought that was really impressive, on his part, or
Yes,
just dumb luck.
and I mean, I think it might have been just like his natural state. Um, Kind of like Big Mom. Going back to Big Mom, she's got iron for skin. Nothing can really puncture it unless she gets like really surprised or caught off guard. But trying to cut her just normally is a fool's errand.
Definitely. Yeah, so after they take down Rokuruda, we have the scene. Basically, they're like, we got to get out of here. The forest is on fire. We got to run. But
Hmm.
they eventually catch up to Yuzuriha and Senta, who are just like flabbergasted because they found like an old village on the island. And they start talking about the hermits, who they're picturing as like old men the entire time. Like, yeah, there's hermits. They lived here. They uh, supposedly had found the secret to, never ending life, the elixir of life. And we get to another scene where it's another one of the prisoners Chobe and his brother Toma, who are basically walking through the woods, and all of a sudden they find these two very young ladies eating fruit and getting after it.
Yeah, they were throwing down. They was all up
Without
on each other.
clothes on.
Yeah,
It was
spicy.
It was awesome, dude. I literally stood there watching it, and all that's going through my head is like, nice.
That's about all I could think.
But
My
like,
favorite part of the show.
like, what the hell were Chobe and Toma doing, dude? You just sit back and enjoy the show, dude. You don't interrupt that. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, Chobe was like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on?" But like, yeah, going back to like the hermit and they're thinking that they're actually hermits, the inhabitants of the island. That goes actually back to some Japanese lore, right? So in paradise, there are hermits that take care of the paradise, and typically they are old men. So to see them as young women, I think they were very surprised. I think that was the only reason they thought hermits were on the island in the first place. So that was really cool to see. One thing I do want to mention, when Rokuruda like pulls up on Gabimaru, Yuzuriha does not help at all. And in fact, she says to him, "Hey, you do the fighting and I do the intel." I knew that she was gonna like betray them at some point. I didn't think it was gonna be so obvious or straightforward. You know what I'm saying?
I
Did y'all think
mean,
that? I mean,
she's she's always been the one that manipulates people into doing her work for her, it seems like. So it didn't surprise me one bit.
okay.
Gabby Maru should just be thankful that he had a cheerleader, bro. Like
That shit was funny.
I
She had
would
a
love
little
her if
song
she was
for him and
cheerleading
everything.
for me. So just let
She had some bars too, bro. That
hey
was some
man,
bars.
just let her
Yeah.
be back in the background cheerleading for me. I'm okay with that.
And Tyler's dead. But like, no, in that scene though, I mean, like, female ninjas aren't like, they're more for like the deceiving side of it and the assassination side of it. They don't fight up front. So I mean, she's kind of staying true to her character.
Okay, that's fair enough. I didn't thought she would like help him at least, not just sit up in the trees and be like, "Yeah, you got this, bro," and then turn around the old Sentai and be like, "Hey, as soon as they go down, we up out of here."
I love that for her.
Yeah, good on her, but like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we ended with some lesbians, so that was fucking tight. Do you guys want to move on to Insomniacs After School?
Let's
Sure.
rock.